Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. And I am here today to immerse you into some validation, into some education, into some immersion and some communication about the Royal Australian Regiment, Infantry, the Australian Army, the tip of the spear, those that others follow but not necessarily wish to tread. Tonight is going to be a stream that is there, that is thick of information at the start, then we'll taper off to your comments. I'm going to explain this. I'm going solo tonight. The way I'm dressed at the moment, I'm in the shirt that I was wearing when I left the military. Okay, I'm wearing a hat back to front. I'm wearing a beard that a wizard once called it, or a necklace, chin lace for a bushranger. I'm wearing a red shirt so no one has any inclination that this is in any way stolen valor. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring you a little bit of a show tonight. We're going to give you an immersion into infantry, which used to be infantry and was beside archers, which is now artillery, and cavalry, which is still basically cavalry, armour, etc. What we're going to do is we're going to communicate in a way that when you come tonight, whether you're in the army, whether you're hoping to be in the army, whether you've been in the army, you should still get something out of it. It's important that you understand that when we join the military, the reason why we teach better than university, better than school, is because there's a format. The instructors actually earn their position, their badge. It's not just a qualification. You are always reassessed and assessed to put your foot forward, and if not, then you are simply see you later, or put into a position you don't like next. It's almost like a dishonourable posting. Get rid of this guy. Who is he? So the way we'd normally go into a format is, you've just come on here, YouTube has done the handover with Kaz, and here we are over in the chat. I'll quickly go through that, and this would be called the handover takeover. And the first thing we would do is a roll call or a right dress, depending on whether it was a weapons lesson, if it was a practical lesson, if it was theory or drill. So we've got Mr. Ibrahim here. We've got Big Fella here. I think Big Fella was spouting about a bloody Pepsi before. So we're going to talk about that after too, and about what happened last night that made me go into the realms of falling down, Michael Douglas fans. This is a great time to become a member in the channel. If you need more one-on-one conversation, calls, etc., then follow the Patreon. For the price of a coffee, you can give me a one-on-one call on that bat phone, which I won't be on tonight. We've got Reezy here. We've got Carl P, who's got his assessment day tomorrow. We've got Fugly here, the master of memes. We've got Mr. Bryce here, veteran himself. Greetings, O saviors of mankind and free world, odd angry shot. We've got Dave D here, stand fast, left-handed salute, palm open. Nicole King, the King, as they would say in a New Zealand accent. Bloody hell, Kaz, I had to come back for a bit. That's good. I bet you feel like you're back in the green. Never let it be a negative thing, team. There is sometimes people within your military career that can make you have the impression you don't like it, when in actual fact you goddamn loved it. But some parts of it were ruined by some dick in particular. Okay. Kane Higgins. Like I said before, I've had the Kane before. Overflowing Stage 3 pit. He represents now in infantry. He's there. He's living the life. He knows the role. He lives by it. He gets paid for preparing for the day that someone makes the mistake, normally always Asian, of picking Australians. Why do I say that? Well, we're talking about the Royal Australian Regiment, so we might as well start there. But before we do, statement of relevance. The reason why we're going to be communicating about this now, tonight, the why, is it's important that you are stimulated, okay, into what people do on your behalf. What we do behind closed doors, actually outdoors. What do we do that makes the Australian Army so coveted, so expensive to rent, to have on your side? I'm going to explain that. Because I believe that I served in the best battalion, which was the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, which is the only regular regiment of Australia. And Australia has the best small army in the world, which means I was in the very best unit in the world, without being special forces but claiming to be special. Okay, so we're going to have some fun tonight. By the end of this, you will understand the validation of why we need infantry and why it is as relevant now as what it once was. You're going to be educated on the facets and the complexities of the military and the customs and traditions of the Royal Australian Regiment. 23rd of November, 1948, it's when it was made. 10th of March, 1949 by King George. That was when we got the prefix Royal. We took over. Did you know before we actually became the Royal Australian Regiment, we had people occupying Japan in the Hiroshima prefecture? Did you know that there was such a short time between WW2 before we went to Korea as a career? No sooner were we out of there, then we're in Borneo, Malaysia. No sooner we out of there, we're in Vietnam. No sooner we out of there, we're in East Timor, Cambodia. It's like we just have that love of MSG. We just keep going back to Asia. We seem to, but we never lose. Retrograde operations, the closest we really come to a bloody nose. You know, we copped a couple of real tap-ins from the Japanese. We copped a fair few from the Germans too. But we gave it back and we defeated a lot of undefeated countries while they were at their pinnacle. Overflowing Stage 3 Pit, I thank you for what you do and the suffering you do today as we move into winter, the soldier's nightmare. As cold as a bloody divorced bed. Leo, wanker stuntman for life, is always here. Rhinopolis, the Greek ruins. Good to have you here with your two filthy hands. Joel, Joel, Uptown Girl. Dylan, 343. What can I say? That is Notsu Cow. The only donation you're allowed to do tonight is 343. If you're going to make one, let's make it fair. 343. The ECN. The Employment Categorisation Number. 343. Drunk Aussie's already broken the rule. Okay? Double tap yourself. Drunk Aussie asleep at the keyboard. G'day, Kaz and team. To stopping by, say hi. Still working. I'll rewatch later. And PFA on the 21st as well. That's fantastic. You're going to pass and you're going to laugh at those that don't. Because tonight is also going to be a shot over the bow to those that might think infantry is about Instagram, is about getting into a uniform to represent something that is just a bit different, but then realise the complexities, the hardness of service. Because I'll tell you something, team. You may be able to get to Kapuka. Okay, you might be able to just pass the tests of the PFA and not have come to this stream, not have come to this channel, not prepared, taken it for granted, not realise that it is the career of champions, but also the falling of great men. It's not a game. And you'll realise that when you get to the School of Infantry. You'll definitely realise it when you get to the battalion. And then no one claps you on the back and says, well done, mate, that's great. You can't just tap out. Why would you wear a shirt that's about giving up anyway? UFC, learn a lesson. Reese, how you going? Jay Hayes, Westside, not cerebral palsy. JD, Mags. Damn, I wasn't here to see if my question was answered. I wasn't here to see if my question was answered. Okay, we'll have plenty of time for those things in a moment. Let's start off with what is the role of the infantry. The role of the infantry team is to seek out and close with the enemy. It is to kill or capture him. It is to seize and hold ground. It is to repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain. Sometimes we can forget that. The military at the moment is so caught up in quota, in these pathetic new uniforms that we've made for our females that have pushed the gender war even further apart. Another double standard within military that looks like a potato sack and will get laughed at by foreign armies if we ever try to represent ourselves overseas in a serious manner, in a ceremonial way. They're horrible. I saw it for the first time today. I don't know how I'd missed it. It looks like a little kid has gone to school in a Halloween outfit that wanted to go as a soldier, so mum grabbed grandma's dress and then stuck all crap all over it, and it doesn't look like it fits very well at all, and implies, if in the same location as males that are wearing the uniform that made women look absolutely professional and great in their polyesters and service dress, if anything, it makes them look worse, and we should never let our female soldiers, serve in anything that they're not thinking, holy shit, I look good in this. Okay, to our female soldiers, Tip of the hat to you. Okay, and I bet you probably think the same. Oh, okay, it doesn't look bad in the office. Okay, but once you're on parade grounds, once you're meeting dignitaries from other forces, once you start putting the bloody rank slides on, once you start putting medals on and all that sort of stuff, it starts to look like a mess. We've got Billy Joel here, voice of the people. He's gone strong straight from the start. Nutsu cow to you, mate, and some krakens around your neck right now. Okay, so let's start on with something else. I'm going to get rid of the back screen for a moment. You can see the 7 battalions that represent the Royal Australian Regiment. We only have one regiment, okay, but one regular regiment, okay, but then we've got Army Reserve regiments below that, okay? Why do we only have one? We can only afford one team. We've got an entire army propping it up, as well as Navy, the senior service, okay, Air Force, Army, armoured vehicles, okay, and all of the other aviation and other assets that cost so much money. To have a second regiment before we need it would cripple us. The public wouldn't be happy. Bam. This is what we're after, the Skippy Badge. It cannot be inherited, nor can it ever be purchased. You and no one alive can buy it for any price. It is impossible to rent, and it cannot be lent. Your alone and our own have earned it. You alone and our own have earned it. With your sweat, blood and lives, you own it forever, the title Royal Australian Regiment Infantryman. ECN 343, the Royal Australian Regiment. Okay, the best infantry regiment of the best small army in the world. Never forget that, because so many men have lost their lives just for it. And I tell you what, it's one of two hat badges that is actually earned. The other one is Armoured Corps. Because everyone else, I'm not trying to degrade other corps. What I'm trying to say is everyone else gets theirs handed to them before actually passing their initial employment training course, qualifications, criteria. When you get to the School of Infantry and you realise I'm not in Kansas now, Dorothy, and you realise that we don't get involved in petty politics between soldiers, and if you have an injury and you cannot continue on training, off you go. We name our platoons after battle honours, okay, after theatres we fight in, whether it be Capion, whether it be Long Tan. Okay, you will be surrounded, you will be girt by history, and you'll be walking the path that so many before you, including myself, have walked. We want you to succeed, but we need you to bleed. We need you to sweat. We need you to hurt. We need you to suffer so that you understand the mantle that you wear upon your hat. Made by Tom Price, whether it be on the beret or whether it be on the slouch hat. Mr. Bryce, you are RAR for life. You are. You are. And when I see people in the Army Reserve who have been in the Royal Australian Regiment, I do not think it's fair that they don't continue to wear the Royal Australian Regiment hat badge, especially if they are still serving in the regular army. They're representing the Royal Australian Regiment, giving the best training they can to Army Reserve soldiers who need to understand they are being represented by the best of the best. And that's what they are. And it's the other reason why the Special Forces come to the Royal Australian Regiment to say, we need some dudes and we need them now. Give us your best. That's sometimes unfortunate for us, just like it was in the Roman legions, because the Praetorian Guard took them from the legions as well. So let's keep going. What have we got after this? Bam. Here's some information about the Royal Australian Regiment first. I've got to take it a little bit slow. I'll get to your questions too. Boom. Here we go. You'll get used to that as you get Kentucky Fried when you get to the School of Infantry. Kentucky Fried. What do you speak of, Kaz? What is this witchcraft? Okay, don't look at the resentment of Aaron the Hitman Dixon in the corner there after getting promised chicken. And then I didn't deliver and he didn't turn up. So here we go. We have our battalions, the 7 battalions. I'll swing over here so you can see better. The 1st Battalion, okay, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Battalion, 5th Battalion, 6th Battalion, 7th and 8th and 9th. And it says here, okay, a motorised and mechanised breakdown. The 1st Battalion is motorised. 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment is light infantry still, but mostly recon-based, information gaining. Okay, and they are also amphibious, which means they're also going to be working hand in hand with Marines at times as well. 3rd Battalion used to be paratroopers, Old Faithful, now they're mechanised. 5th Battalion, you've got the motorised. Okay, 6th Battalion mechanised, 7th Battalion, which is confusing because they're in the same location. Okay, sorry, 6 and 8, 9 are mechanised and motorised, and you've got 7th in mechanised as well. 7 RAR is in Adelaide, the home of the single mums. 5 RAR is in Hades, up in bloody Darwin. All right. Townsville is the 1st, 2nd and 3rd Battalion, the first 3 battalions that hailed from the 65th, 66th and 67th Battalions as they raised the Royal Australian Regiment before they got the prefix on the 10th of March 1948. Sorry, 1949 was when they got the prefix Royal. When King George died, okay, 2 RAR's drums got painted black. Here's some other things. We have marching songs. We have bands for each one of the battalions. Royal Australian Regiment, quick march to the El Alamein, okay, and for slow march is the infantry song. 1st Battalion, Waltzing Matilda, I was always jealous of their brass band. They always had 1% of their band was hot as hell. Mrs. Holmes, I used to think you were cute, but I worked for your brother, and I never would have told you. 2nd Battalion, Ringo, back in black, pipes and drums. When you were in the 2nd Battalion, and we had the full complement of the Royal Australian Regiment's, pipes and drums at times, especially when we were in the 2nd, 4th Battalion, you could have nearly 1,000 men, okay, marching behind pipes and drums as we turned up to an all-corps setting, and I tell you what, the seas parted. 3rd Battalion, very proud battalion, pipes and drums, okay, Old Faithful. 4th Battalion, Inverbrachy, okay, that was part of my battalion when I started in the 2nd, 4th Battalion in 91. Dominic, 5th Battalion, 6th Battalion, Spirit of Youth, and the Crusaders, pipes and drums. 7th Battalion, Cock of the North. There you go. I've been called that before too. And then you've got 8th, 9th, which is Black Bear, and they love that too. Some of our alliances there is the 2nd Battalion, I believe it is with the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. We've got New Zealand, the 1st Battalion, Royal Australian, Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment. We've got Malaya, we've got United Kingdom areas, the Brigade of Gurkhas, and we've worked with those in the 2nd Battalion. They were lovely people. I worked with them again in Rwanda in Central Africa. Great guys. Coldstream Guards. We've got Scots Guards. We've got the Queen Royal Hussars. We've got the Irish Guards. We've got the Welsh Guards. We've got the Highlanders, the Parachute Regiment, okay, from the United Kingdom that is affiliated with the 8, 9 RAR. So we've got a hell of a lot of connections to other major units around the world that also know who we are. As a matter of fact, at the 2nd Battalion, okay, we had because it was the 2nd, 1st Battalion, the Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment. Okay, it was that battalion that is affiliated with the 2nd Battalion. And basically what happens is they have the sash, the red sash that is only worn by infantry sergeants and warrant officers. And theirs has the Maori motifs on it, the tribal design. And when they are in town, then we wear that to represent them being in town as a sign of respect. The lanyards that you'll be wearing, we wear ours on the left, all other corps wear theirs on the right. Garter blue for the 1st Battalion, black, okay, without being racist, for the 2nd Battalion, worn with pride. And then we've got the 3rd Battalion, rifle green, 4th Battalion, scarlet, okay, you've also thought about that as red, okay, 5th Battalion is gold, 6th Battalion is khaki, long tan, 7th Battalion is maroon, and 8th, 9th Battalion is slate grey. I don't understand why 7th Battalion is maroon when everyone always thinks of the 3rd Battalion as maroon. That's the way they are. And they look good in it. So with that out the way, team, let's get that off. Boom. Let's have a look at the statement of relevance. Before we do that, I'm going to quickly go to you. We've got Michael Stoddy here, medic, 3rd Brigade. 3rd Brigade is in Townsville, team. That's where you want to go for the best immersion, the best of both worlds. The only problem is, like Charlie, there's no surf there. We've got Stubbsy. We've got, who we got here? Addy Boy. We've got Fugly Dang It. Broken Condom is calling again. I've got to bounce to the extreme. I've got it here, mate. There we go. Daz, Fugly, enjoy. Mr. Bryce, sorry, my mistake. 6 RAR are making transition to mechanised. Look, either way, it doesn't matter. Mechanised, motorised, light infantry, or etc. There is so much transitioning happening throughout the Royal Australian Regiment, throughout the Greater Army, etc., that it can be very difficult to keep up with. Okay, we're going to talk about your chronological order of joining the military, followed by getting to Kapuka, getting your allocation to the Royal Australian Regiment, okay, and then what happens next in a moment, and all the little good things that you might need to know, and what you can do wrong. So let's look at this, the statement of relevance, the why. To educate, to illuminate, and to validate. Educate support corps. Shot over the bow for those that may not be ready but think they are, that think this is all about Instagram, but then fall up short or quit at Kapuka the first time they get yelled at. Validate the RAR's importance in the eyes of those who will serve in it and those that stand beside it Anzac Days or see them on parade. Okay, or wonder what they're doing on your behalf for your tax dollar. Is tonight about people and blogs? Is it about education? Or is it about entertainment? I don't know. Depending on who you are, it could mean something different. I took this photo of this fella, and I remember thinking to myself, why has he got a 66 in his pack? But then I realised they're actually stakes for his gun. So no problems there. What are all the battalion mascots? I can't even keep up with it anymore, mate. Maybe it's a little bit jealous because we had an unofficial pig, and sometimes we even say that one RAR is the second battalion's mascot. Okay, one RAR has a pony, but okay, 6 RAR has a ram. Good luck, Jared. Jared, I've got my career coaching call coming up. You can't do better than this. I could coach your career coach, I'm sure. I'd like to go on there as an imposter and see what they've got to tell me and whether I actually believe in it. That would be an interesting video, wouldn't it? Okay, let's get out of there. Bam, what's up next? The role. As we stated before, the role of the infantry is to seek out and close the enemy, to kill or capture him, to seize and hold ground, to repel attack by day or night, regardless, think of the words here, of season, weather, or terrain. There's no tap-out team. You're in there for the long run, and when you come back, there's no, oh, you done it, you're back, awesome. We don't come in and have group hugs. We come in, we unload our weapon systems, make sure they're safe, and then we go back to cleaning. The job is not done. The job is done when you're shaving the cam cream off your face, you're piling into a taxi, swearing that you're going to eat a metre-long pizza, drink everything at the bar, and you won't accept no for an answer, and all three things happen, and you go home with vomit on your own shirt. We've got Mr. Bryce, infantry guy. We've got Dylan Lambo. Can't afford one now. He's making the donations. Off to the gym. Have a great stream. Army fit time. 343. That's a double tap there, team. Not so cow. Maybe they're going together. Maybe they're in the same room. That photo was at Ballabo. No, not Ballabo. Bobonaro. Up in the highlands. Up in East Timor on the second trip. And that was my section of retrobates. And as you can see by my Sinead kind of haircut, I was rocking it. The next day, we had a handful of cock. What I mean by that is chicken. Weren't going to eat it, but Dave Penson, he's in Nam. Is it your first or second tour? Or every time you go away and come back? Is that another tour? Where is he? Dave Penson, g'day all. I was the engineer, one officer to the 3rd Battalion when they deployed to East Timor second tour. There you go. So you were at the Enclave, I believe. Very interesting. Guys and gals, I'll tell you something too. Kaz photo bombed the pick. Rebel took his blue. That's the United Nations. I'm not a big fan of them. They don't have too many teeth, and they're finding that out in Mali. Guys and gals, when you go overseas, your deployment, if it is less than 6 months by a day, then you are not entitled to BRL or to overseas repatriation holidays, etc. So often, if you're only doing a 6-month tour, okay, or a little bit longer than a 6-month tour, you won't get the UN's allocation of leave, of entitlements, etc. So if you're going as a reinforcement, you're going to have a goddamn tiring trip. Everyone else gets about 10 days plus. Bobonaro, East Timor was a shit fight in 2000. Yeah. We were actually at Ballabo. We pushed what we thought was going to be the Indonesians out of Ballabo, but we turned up there and I found the only recipient had been kicking doors with these chicken legs. Why did the chicken cross the road? To laugh at Kaz's legs, of course. And I found that young lady in there who scared the living shit out of me. Bradley, just got off the bus at Singo a few hours ago. The IET journey begins. Sorry I've been inactive and all. Kapuka. Flies as big as cats. Previous username, if anyone remembers. Bradley. He's just got to the School of Infantry. Bam. From Kapooka. Mate, I'm going to put this one up for you quickly. Not that one. This one. That's what you're earning for, mate, Bradley. You're going for the Skippy Badge. You can't buy it. Or you can. It costs about $1.80. Probably about $3 at that shop. Righto. But also, look at this one. The Skippy Badge. We've got to respect it. Bam. Real. Real badge. Real roo. Thanks, mate. There you go. So you're about to get... We're going to go forward here for Bradley's sake, for those that are watching, because this is very, very pertinent. Bradley's just got off the bus. At the moment, he will be at the holding platoon location, and there might be shitloads more people than what there was in a standard platoon at Kapooka around 60 before the quitters. Now, what's going to happen, he's going to go in there and he's going to intermingle. All of the friends you have right now from Kapooka, from your sections, are about to leave. You're on your own again. Now you need to make friends with those that are going to be in your platoon, whether it be long term, whether it be Borneo platoon, okay, whether it be in Kapyong platoon. Tomorrow you're probably going to go and do a fitness test, and that fitness test will determine key, C, competent, or NYC to go into the next session. If you go into the next session, some of the guys you just got out of Kapooka with won't be in it. You're going to put into a section allocation in a, if you fail, you'll go to the REP and they'll say, is it for fitness? Is it for psychological? Is it for sickness? Okay, they're going to say to you tomorrow before you do the test, do you have any ailments or injuries or sickness that prevents you from giving your very best effort? And this matters, because if you don't get in there tomorrow, then you now have to wait until the session after this next session begins. So don't look at your mates. You compete against them. You try to beat them in push-ups, try to beat them in sit-ups, try to beat them in the run. Your career depends on this. No pressure. Guys and gals, if you're waiting to go to the infantry, you need to do the work before you get there, before you think you need to. Go out, get cold. Forget about your civilian friends until the last week before you did him out of the village, because they won't be there when it's suffer time, suffer town. They won't be there when someone's standing beside you, with a clock going yes or no, quick enough, slow enough. When the PDIs tell you, don't walk on the road, don't sit down, put your hands on your hips, and then come and give me the time as soon as you finished your 2.4, then do so. Follow instructions, do it first, look after your mates, get a battle buddy, pledge with each other to make sure you don't miss anything. But your day starts tomorrow. What platoon we go to, don't know. But when you get there, that's when the course begins. Very interesting. And you're going to be there for winter, and that sucks. It does. But it means we're going to get to the battalion when the battalion's starting to slow down a little bit. Course period, posting period. Very smart move, Bradley. Named after the armoured fighting vehicle the Americans used to use. So what else did we have? Okay. We're going to talk about some terms in a moment. But before we do that, let's go back to where we were. Okay, we've done that, done this. This is what you're aiming at. You're aiming at a career. If you stay in longer than 4 years, somewhere like 10, 15, 20, beyond, don't go past 24, because even a Roman auxiliary didn't work past 24 years. That'd be foolish. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have bad memories, but you're also going to have lived life. You're going to have a collection of excellent stories to fall back on. Funny, of woe, of achievement, of other people's failures, of wisdom. And I want you to understand something else, team. I want you to understand something else. What was the important thing I was going to say? At the moment, we are living in, like Madonna says, a political world. She calls it material world. A material. Well, let me tell you something here. You can get on Facebook and you can make the narrative fit. You can go and you can see that females get an easier time at every stage of training, okay, than men. That their fitness test is a lot lower, they get paid the same. That their grooming stands are easier, but they get paid the same. but they still serve, and they do a bloody good job in what they do. Okay, it's only if they come to infantry it becomes a mistake, because then we travel at the speed of their fitness test, not ours, and theirs is slower, and we travel at the speed of the slowest man, woman, person, soldier. What I'm saying to you is do not get caught up in politics with the military. If you were joining the army right now, one, you don't have a political voice. No one wants to know about it because you're there to represent political failure. You're there to represent the executive class, the commission class of officers that will tell you where to go, when to be there. And if you don't make it home and you come home on your shield, then I'll be the one that signs a letter and hands it to your mother. Okay, all we can hope is we have the best officers and that we have the best soldiers. And if you have the worst day where you lose a mate or you are lost yourself, that when your mother is looking at the letter, that it's with pride, respect, and it comes with a comforting hug that she accepts from those that hand it to her as a notification officer or beyond from DCO, not met with hatred. You let me down. Because if the missions we go on are righteous, then we should be happy to go on there, and you should not be getting on a plane. You should not be putting the Skippy Badge on if you're not a volunteer and you're ready to go into the fire and face the threats of a nation. You're a volunteer. You haven't been conscripted. You're not a conscript. Okay. You went there by your own accord. Mum and Dad had a chance to get angry, and my heart fills with pain when I see the confliction that can happen. Okay, so be careful about introducing politics into your opinions on what you like or dislike, double standards, what's fair, what's not fair. It's communism in the army. Get used to that. Nothing's fair, but it's fine, and you chose it. You get paid, and there's a hell of a lot of advantages. A hell of a lot. Luke is loving life. I'm glad you're loving life, Luke. Well, Kaz, where is your body? I was taking the photo, my man. You know, I was taking the photo. The life of the photographer. But if I hadn't taken that photo, guess what? That photo wouldn't have been taken. All right, team. Give the lesson test to the standard. Okay, explanation, demonstration, practice. Everything we do, whether it be weapons, whether it be theory, whether it be drill, okay, whether it be something practical. Okay, we will explain to you what we want you to know. From there, we will demonstrate a perfect demonstration of what we require you to have. And then we'll give you practice and assistance. And slowly we take our hand off anything we're teaching you until you start to get the hang of it. We'll let you know at the start of a lesson what the expectation is by the end of that lesson. And then you will have a culmination as we go into the conclusion. You'll have a test of objectives to make sure you're picking everything up. If you can't pick it up, you'll be retested. If you can't pick that up, you'll get a post retest from there. And if not, then you'll get back squatted for training. But that's fine, because that means we're operating at your learning speed. We don't just get rid of you. It's the premier teaching facility, I believe, in Australia. And I don't know why it's not mirrored. Okay, because it's all core. I don't know why it's not mirrored by our learning institutions. All we do is we go for emotionless educating. Nicole King. I don't want to offend any female who wants to join infantry, but from someone who trained mainly with grants, females don't belong in infantry. I agree. We are built differently and injuries are worse. Yep. And I've got a daughter, and I absolutely care for our female volunteers. And I've seen both sides. I've seen the faces of the girls that cry. I've seen what the success rate of those that get in. And I've also seen some that I believe, with my expert opinion, okay, were given ticks in the box that they shouldn't have got, which set them up for disaster when they go to the battalion, because people assume when they see the Skippy Badge that you passed all the medals to get that qualification, and now you have it. There's no excuse when you're in Tully, high range, midnight, night vision equipment on, live firing. Let's go to a video. Let's validate a little bit of that, shall we? You guys have been hanging with me really well here. Thank you very much. Mr. Bryce, send it. Send us that. Let's look at this for a second. Some of it's a little bit slow, some of it's a bit fast. That's a javelin team, a modern javelin. We don't use it to destroy bloody containers. Artillery. That looks like high range right there. That'll be call you home. Engineers. Boom. Hold fast. Clearing the way. Tactical obstacle. Go through armour. Well, that these guys getting ready for a battle run. By that red flag, that normally means this is going to be live fire. These guys, infantry, dismounts, that just did a split from that armoured vehicle. This is going to be part of your roll team. Even if you're not light infantry, motorised or mechanised, nothing changes. There's the objective. You've been called on top of it. It can be used as an ambulance. Communications, C3. Command comms and communications. Let's hit that like button if we can, team. He's throwing smoke. LGBT, they're welcome too. I don't know what that car was parked out there for. This is beautiful. Cinematic. Looks like a dust-off happening there. Mickey Stott would be excited. There's our aviation guys as well. Well, a little bit exciting. Okay, let's throw that out. Let's throw another one on. This is for the 2nd Battalion, for all those who want to go amphibious. 2nd Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, second to none.
2 RAR amphibious are the commander's eyes and ears on the battlefield.
Lead the way.
We arrive under the cover of darkness, seeking out the enemy, searching for him.
At least give the proper role of the infantry.
He never knows we are there. When given the order to engage, we act swiftly.
There's no music but when you go on the tax team. This can be your job, paid to do it. Come on, clean your uniform, there's grass all over it. Worker. Let's call it a bit low casting team. Looks like Tully. Boy out of 66 in his pack should be happening. Army, bring out your best. Guys and girls, legacy. You know, that is the culmination where you get to come together on that special day of the year, Anzac Day, reunions, and come and swap stories and see which one of us can tell the biggest lies. What song's that from? From Cold Chisel. The Lurker. G'day, Jay. Giving up on the lurking. Lurker. You're not a very good lurker. You're always here. Great to see. I heard Kaz 2 hours returning to 3 Brigade. Look, it's always been 3 Brigade. No matter how they try to church shit up, at the end of the day, you can't be on the battalion grounds, on the brigade grounds, and then be outside the law, so to speak. It's not like 3RAR in bloody the enclave in East Timor, okay, like they don't exist. Of course they do. That's right, Mr. Bryce. Did I say a swear word? Foxhound is our denominator. Okay, and that is, Foxhound is for infantry. That's our appointment title. Good video, only problem is they film through night vision. Big no-no. I didn't know about that. Tully is not welcome. No, it's not. And it doesn't even welcome Greenpeace. Roger Ramjet, just hit the thumbs up button and notice that someone has accidentally hit thumbs down. That's fine. That could be the future enemy. Who knows? Guys and gals, the great thing is we don't go in with hatred in our hearts. The reason why the Australian Infantry is the best is because we go in there with compassion. We go in there for the right reason. We win hearts and minds while we're there. The reason why the Australian Infantry did so well, okay, against the Japanese in Kokoda is because we didn't look down on the fuzzy wuzzies, on the natives. Okay, we made friends with them. We gave them stuff when we could. introduced them to the Australian sense of humour, etc. The Japanese did not do that. So what happened was, when you needed them, they came. For us, they came as friends. For the Japanese, they came as enemies. And that place is inhospitable as it is. When you have the locals that know the place back to front, generations, 1,000 years, and they're not on your side, yep, you don't want that. Epic Beats, hey Kaz, thanks for your advice. I passed my assessment day on the last track with the physical, and that should be absolutely no dramas. Don't do that for yourself. Don't do that for Army. Do it for the ladies. Get swiped right, even if you say, not today, love. I'm training for my BFA. Infantry. It's the best thing that I've ever done, and I accidentally stayed in long enough that it became a legacy. And I want to pass it on to you. I want you to feel like your life has been a journey, an achievement. There is so many things that are going to happen if you don't move soon, where you get caught up in the wheel of life, chasing the dollar. I'll do it next year. I'll do this. I'll do that. The years go on. You meet a girl, you break up. You meet a girl, you break up. You meet a girl, you stay together, you have kids, opportunities gone. You only have a short period of time to do something selfish for yourself and forge your life in infantry. Okay, no one looks back in infantry at those behind them. We assume that everyone has the same standard as us within their corps. I want to know, if you're a truck driver, you're the best truck driver and you're going to be there on goddamn time. You better be. Armoured, if you're going to turn up, I want to know that you're going to be in that position to cover our left or right. I want to know with the catering that once every 3 months I'm going to get a sausage that's not burnt. And dentist, you're going to repair what happens when I say something wrong in the pub. MPs, go light on me. My shoulder's already bung. If you're going to put me in the back of the vehicle, ask me nicely and I'll get in. No dramas at all. Epic Beats loves his country, and so do I. And like Sylvester Stallone said, I just want my country to love me like I love it. Guys and gals, we have a great country. They're trying to push a lot of politics in, and we don't need that. We don't need it. And I don't know why they want us to feel bad. All these agendas that are pushing on us. I went to the movies yesterday. There was like 4 ads in a row that were basically saying men are evil, men are bad. There was things about, if you have your keys hanging up and your car gets stolen from your house, in some way it's your fault. It just did not stop. Smokey B, hey Kaz, what do you think of forced vaccinations in the Defence Force? I'm fine with it. In New Zealand, to train overseas, you must be vaccinated. Sounds like they make it a part of the application process. I owe it to you. I owe it to you as a civilian in Australia and your family that I don't go overseas, pick up an exotic illness and bring it back and spread it. And we've all been educated on what happens with the COVID situation that's changed Australia forever. In the country I was in, one time, other than malaria I've got and everything else that makes you itchy downstairs, I was in Rwanda while there was Ebola, cholera, rabies, all the staffs, all of the different things, and I was working with blood. And I'll tell you something that makes me very angry. The Army Reserve Medical Corps that were working with us, they had us, with no HAZCAM. Bare arms, with African blood that was pouring out of wounds all over our arms. And then they'd tap us or tap our hand to let us know, drop your hand down, exit wound, no, put it back up. Next hand they'd hit it, drop it down, exit wound, no, put it up. We had biochemical dramas, by HAZCAM from victims, and we were never actually really tested. So I think it's fantastic that they're doing what they can to look after people and give them the best chance of coming back. Honestly, I don't think there's any real, what would we call it, conspiracy to try and hurt you in any way by putting something into your blood. Maybe there is, I don't know, but I don't know. I'm still here. All right, here's some, we'll go for some questions. Then what we'll do is we'll talk about a few of the terms that you're going to be talking about. But understand, when you join the Royal Australian Regiment, the only infantry regiment regular in the Australian Army, and you've earned your hat badge, you've made it to your battalion, you've got to the School of Infantry, so you haven't made it to the battalion yet. You've done your 13 weeks training, okay, where you will be firing weapon systems that no other corps fires, okay, and you've come to completion of training. What will occur is you'll decide, or you will have asked and vocalised what battalion you want to go to. 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, yes please. 3rd Battalion, all of them in Townsville. Okay, or you maybe want to go to 5. Don't know why. Go to Darwin so you can be around the Americans, maybe. Yeah, well, you want to go to 7 RAR down in Adelaide and go to the single mums. Well, you want to go to 6 RAR. Okay, 6th Battalion was the next tour, and it was me who drew the card. We did Canungra, Shell Water before we left. Long 10. Delta Company. Or whether you want to go to 8, 9. Or whether you want to use any one of these as a stepping stone to get you to the Special Forces fraternity family. 2nd Commando Regiment. SASR. You learn your trade in the battalion, but you let them know where you want to go. But I always recommend to everyone, go to the 2nd Battalion, 1st Battalion, or 3rd Battalion first. The reason I say that is it's the best military immersion that you're going to get. It has the most support elements there. You're going to make friendships, brotherhoods there that will last a lifetime. I'm not just talking about infantry, with all of the corps. Nicole King. Need to go, everyone. Have a great night. You too, Nicole King. Left-handed salute from American style. Hope you enjoyed. You can hear the rain in the background, team. I hope you feel like you're getting wet and sticky as we speak. Mark Johnson, 5RR all the way. And Mark, I want you to be proud of your battalion. Good on you, mate, and duty first. I want you to be. Tell us what's good about 5RAR being up in Darwin, mate. Let us know, because I don't. I've only passed through like a Kentucky tour, and I tell you what, I couldn't wait to get on a plane and go somewhere hotter. Lauren here. Just popped in to say good night. Double hand salute. We missed you tonight, Lauren. But honestly, I would have been talking over you tonight. Hope the little ones are going well. Okay. And I hope you have a great time away. Have a rest, because your video is coming out every day at 9:30. Max, for the free haircut. No free haircuts, mate. No free haircuts in the military. That's a funny one. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so there's your battalions there. We work in all facets of terrain team, whether it be jungle, whether it be open country, whether it be night, okay, in those locations, whether it be maritime, working with the ships, doing ship-to-shore, okay, landings, etc. When you're not in Australia doing training, then what you're doing is ramping up for either exchanges with other countries like the USA, or preparing for operations, being tested by CTC, getting ready for promotions. It is perpetual movement, and it continues to roll and waits for the next time that a confrontation or a red flag is raised that makes people think that could be our next location. Watch the news, stay on board, stay educated, stay dangerous. This is why we have to be so careful. We're going to talk about something really quickly, if you don't mind. Wait a sec. I am as blind as Fruit Loop at the moment. Mark Johnson, I'm from Alice Springs, so there you go. So that's the only regiment. Okay, I'm reserve. I found, but I can't wait to join after I cleared my foot injuries. Okay, all the best with that, mate. Don't kick footies with bare feet. Epic Beats, well, Kaz, if we wanted to get wet and sticky, we'd go Navy. Good point. Jokes aside, love our Navy brothers and sisters. I love our Navy. Okay, I wish there was more exciting jobs in the Air Force, but I don't think there is. Guys, when it comes to the politics, the one thing that we're failing to do in the moment in military, and don't get me wrong, you're being represented by some fantastic soldiers in the Royal Australian Regiment now. You know, some real hard-hitting dudes. You know, extremely fit, less about substance abuse, and when I say that, I mean alcohol, pizza, and cigarettes, and more about training hard, okay? Bloody athletes. And very well-spoken, too, I must admit. Some a little bit too arrogant for my liking, especially when they're talking to people that have done their job, 3 or 4 times longer. No, but that's okay. I want a bit of professional arrogance. That's fine. We've got to be careful we don't change the culture of infantry. Let the guys have their shirts. Let a bit of inappropriate behaviour happen. It's fine. What do you expect from those of the 1% of the 1% they're going to be there when everyone else is running back the opposite goddamn way? Your infantry need to be part wolf to be the best sheepdog. These guys play hard. When you go on a tour, when you go on a trip, okay, when you go on a field, okay, test, a culmination, activity, live fire, things happen. Don't expect if you've been dangerous around live weapon systems, okay, that you're going to be treated with kid gloves. No. There is punishments, okay, and most of the leadership I've ever seen during my time in the military is at peer levels. Privates with privates, corporals with corporals, sergeants with sergeants, warrant officers with warrant officers, RSMs with RSMs, and officers with their similar rank peers. That is where you see leadership. Who does the people look at as the best of the best within their own? That's where the leadership falls, and that can be you. Sadly, we need the leaders to keep being manufactured, found out, identified, but often they don't want to be promoted. Now, I'll tell you, I did not want to go above sergeant. The Army is famous for promoting people above one rank above their capability all the time. And normally what happens after that is either mistakes are made or people discharge and we lose some fantastic people. With the money that you get for a promotion and the power that you get comes a curse, and that is normally paperwork. Responsibilities that prevent you from having that time with family, friends, humour that you need to keep you on that wheel. We need the good people to stay. What is the magic amount of time to stay in? It's somewhere between 6 years and 20. And I don't know what it is exactly. It comes down to you, children, family, etc. I don't know. Let me know in chat. What is the perfect amount of time to stay in? Because I know if you only stay in for 4, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Just hate having to rely on them to protect me and my family. I want to be the one they rely on. You got to stand for something, don't you? Danny boy, hey Kaz, hope you're well, fella. Just wondering if you could do another video on reserves one day, mate. Look, I'm absolutely fine with doing reserves. I've known a lot of those girls. No dramas at all, mate. Okay, we've got a fair few people in chat that are in Army Reserve as well. The perfect balance. The way to be able to amalgamate military into the civilian world. There's some that exploit it and there's some that taint it. There's some that wear the uniform wrong and there's some that through immaturity, okay, represent they're in the regular army when they're not. Should there be different uniforms for Army Reserve and regular army? Yes. There should be a differentiation, that word, so that people actually understand I'm dealing with someone of Army Reserve. So I'm in Army Reserve and I have someone in my depot that's a regular soldier. I understand that this guy's going to be a little bit more red line than what I am. Same deal when I'm dealing with someone of Army Reserve. Okay, I know they're volunteering in their own time, the only little bit of time they might have from a professional career to be here, and they're absolute volunteers. Treat them with kid gloves. Teach them something. When you're around a reservist, they are so hungry for information. You can either build them up or tear them down, and I hope it's not the latter. Because they'll stay in forever if they're treated well, and they feel stimulated, and they're allowed to grow, and they're allowed to represent. And remember, Kokoda. Okay, that was full of Army Reservists. Jaws, long-time lurker. I'm 43, mechanical engineer. So is my dad. Joined the reserves, 9 Regiment, Royal Australian Army Corps. No one in my family will honour my grandfather's army legacy, so you're stepping up. Good to see, mate. I'm proud to do so. Your videos push me to take action. Inspiration, desperation, they're the two things that choose action for us. But which one is it? Desperation? Inspiration. Sounds like a little bit of both. You know, you got to get out there, make that family name. I get it. I miss it. Stickman. They do the same job when it comes down to it. No, they don't. Stick. They don't. You know, let's not sugarcoat it. The Army Reserve and the regular army, there's massive differences in between. Okay, if you're in the 1st Battalion or the 2nd Battalion when they were in the 3rd Brigade 3 area, you know, they used to be the first ones that used to go through online battalions every year. There'd be a battalion that doesn't go on holidays. They stay behind, they do guards, they wait for the glass to crack, and quite often, when it does, they are the ones that stay at home. I've never understood it because they have to be ready for domestic, But honestly, team, I can't be politically correct with that. We are not the same. Hey, Kaz, how are you, mate? Thomas334, bloody fantastic, mate. I'm honoured to be here. I'm honoured to share time with you guys and gals. But you need the truth. You deserve the truth and nothing but the truth, because this is a volunteer military. If people come in with volunteers, they will come in and they'll be the best version of them. They will go home, and they need to remember balance as well, that they also are the best family person they can be. So include your family on everything you can. Dave D, I disagree about the uniform. It would cost too much. Instead, you can tell ARES by the fact they have the old F-88s. Okay. I'd just have a badge for them. And you know what? A lot of it's for compassion too. You want to make sure you don't pushing someone in a position. Remember, you're looking at more than 6 months permanent training with basically no days off when you're regular Army. It's not the same for Army Reserve. So don't have an expectation up here straight away for someone when you see them in uniform, which to qualify for, they've only got to do Kapuka, but then could be at McDonald's or doing something where someone could question their authenticity because they can't answer questions from a regular retired soldier who's trying to catch them out. That's not what we should be trying to do. Okay. Mark Johnson. Josh, that's what I want to do. I want to make it my life. I know a major up in Darwin who is a 75-year-old Vietnam veteran. He's supposed to retire and the Army wants to retire him. Okay. I don't know how he's on there that long, mate. He must have some sort of volunteer role up there, mate. Milo. It's my favourite drink or substance. It goes with milk. I've just started my application for ADFA 16. Okay, for ADFA, the university entry, yep. What is the selection process for helicopter pilots? Mate, they'll tell you that. Go in, see if they want you to go to for a U session, etc. You've got a lot of things to jump before you get to that point, mate. Dead right, Dave. No, his unit has EF-88. Okay. But you know what? You can give me any rifle and I'm a dead-eyed dick. I'm a shooter. Okay. Not the weapon, it's the person that holds it. Here's some terms that you're going to hear, and they make a lot of sense. And something I was talking about before was the military appreciation process. Dave would know a lot about this soon, which is done by higher levels. And then you've got the individual military appreciation process, which is where we lay Red Force and Blue Force, our skills, our downfalls, our weakness, our vulnerabilities, and we lay it all out to bear. And we're absolutely honest with all that, so that when we work out what the enemy, where he derives, this is strategic here, where he derives, and think about this as a football team, Cowboys beating Penrith, where does Penrith derive their will to win from? What is their main inspiration? Let's undermine that. What's their strength? Who is their strong players? Who are their weak players? Who's their less fit players? Who should we keep away from? Who should we target? And then what we do is we lay our strengths over their weaknesses, and our weaknesses we try to keep to the rear so they can't exploit us. And whoever does that tends to win. But what's occurring at the moment, I believe, in the Australian Army, is we have leadership that is actually gone into the realm of politics, which they are meant to keep the hell away from, despite the fact that after Colonel, you're not a corps anymore. Okay, you're basically a politician, staff member. But the danger of that is, if they're setting up a career for afterwards and they start getting politically correct and we start seeing quotas, and we start seeing all of these situations that are about making the Army look like it's fun, like a university, downplaying the very culture that wins everything we go into, then we'll lose the next game. We can't afford to do that. In the military, we should still be using words like, you're too fat. Do something about it. You're too slow. You don't fit in. If you are oil in the pool, you don't drink it. Okay. We have to be, sometimes what could come across as nasty, but it's not, it's being honest. That is us doing the military appreciation process on ourselves. What's our weaknesses? Is it our capability? Is it our HR department? Is it our equipment? Is it our training? Which one is it? Target it. Fix it. Don't look backwards, okay, and say, what do people think of me? We're preparing for the worst day when politicians fail. Never forget that. Our actions, already, we care what you think as civilians. We want you to hold us in the highest esteem. You don't need to say thank you for your service. Okay, I'm happy for a nod, and I'm sure all soldiers are, because we're happy for you to have a happy life, and that's what we want. As long as someone isn't throwing derogatory terms at us that don't fit, you know, we're the ones with the discipline. We're the ones that have to take it, that can't fight back. Not allowed to. Whether that be on Facebook, whether that be outside an RSL. We have to be the bigger man all the time. Even when everything in our heart is saying, I want to see if I could fit that guy's head through a chisel. Okay? Penrith wins because of the leadership style. Maybe it does. We'll see soon enough. We'll see soon enough. But every time that we talk about capability, you need to remember, if you were someone that is part of quota, if you were part of something that is about affirmative action, and you can't do something, you should be given absolutely no hand up. It's all about those that belong there, that have the skill sets, and remember it this way. G'day, RW Preach, how you going? We'll talk about epic beats here. Kaz, are you able to give a perspective on the corn chip situation if we are going to end up in a conflict? I believe the world is, and we'll be part of it, yes. On the ground there? No. I want to put in this perspective, and I've said this before, and this is most important for infantry. For everyone that wants to go to infantry, put a thumbs up in there if you want to go to infantry. Become a member right now if you want or if you can, to support the channel as I support you as you go forward. Okay, so I can have the coffee and the sustenance to keep you going with duty first in the background. But I want you to remember something. Right, so who are we going to use? We'll use Milo. We're going to use Milo for a second. Okay, Milo, you've made it into infantry. There's people there that you are not happy with their fitness. They can't do the push-ups. They don't have the stamina. They can't take criticism. They just don't belong. Or they're not ready yet. And then you get to the training week where you do offensive week, where you're doing live fire, blank fire, and dry fire and movement, assaults, attacks. There's four stages of attack. Okay, you've got the preparatory stage. Okay, we're going to go to action. Okay, then you've got the and bayonet. You've got the assault, where you're going to be in assault formation, acting on a drill. Okay, then you've got the exploitation of the enemy location, and then you've got the reorganisation. You're going to do that dry, over and over and over again. You're going to do it blank, over and over again. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get section commanders from all over Australia. They're going to come in behind you, and then you're going to live rounds by night. Night vision equipment, where your view is like this, where your eyes go, you better goddamn hope your weapon doesn't go. Right? Because your trigger, okay, is only millimetres from where your finger is. Live rounds. If you're fatigued, then you make mistakes. You don't want to be the guy that's done all the job, who's at the front, 5 metres apart. Okay, assault formation, on a bearing, working towards the enemy, shot rings out, whistle rings out, and then you hear there's been an incident, and someone that was fatigued, had tunnel vision, made a mistake, didn't put the safety catch to safe, in between bounds, let off a round, and someone cops it. If you have people that are not fit enough, that is exactly what can happen. When people are fatigued, they stop thinking. When people are fatigued, the tunnel vision comes in. Most of you people have never been exhausted in your life, or even seen people that are exhausted unless you watch the Olympics. I love the Olympics. When you are truly exhausted, it is amazing what you can't hear anymore. It's like bloody Tom Hanks. And just because you're exhausted doesn't mean the job stops. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And that can be for 20 minutes. That can be for 3 minutes. It could be for 3 hours. There is a level of fitness that you have to have that you cannot train for. It's all about grit. Second half fitness toughness, and we will bring that out of you, and we'll get to the stage where you can't even support your own head. And then you'll know where your fail point is. Okay. So you don't need it. So basically, he ones who don't take better don't make it. If you've got a hard time, look, you will not have a hard time taking. Put a thumbs up if you think that you have a hard time taking criticism, because guess what? When you're a volunteer for the military, Carl goes in tomorrow. Dave already knows all about this. G'day, Milo. Welcome to Bearer of Coffee. Thank you very much, mate. And I will have that coffee, but it's going to go to Amanda Smith. If you want to go to Dean Caswell on my Instagram, okay, it's on my hand. I pledge that I cannot wipe it off until I've given a coffee to a stranger, and that was my pledge to her. Act of kindness. So thank you very much, Milo. Thank you very much indeed. What were we talking about? What were we talking about? Okay, criticism. You're not going to have a problem with it at all, because the people that are giving you the credit, that problem, okay, that beasting, that yelling, you already respect them, because when they're not yelling at you, they're teaching you. They're giving you fun stories. They're giving you a little, good job, mate. They're having a bit of sense of humour. This is not like Kapuka. This is the School of Infantry. We're going to be asking you about your best command lines. We're going to be having sleeps during the day in between training. It's not just for OH&S. It's because it's the right thing to do to cut you a break. Subscribe right now if you haven't already. You're crazy. Tony Callaghan, what do you think of the new cam pattern compared to the old one? This one, I believe, is one of the best in the field environment. Once it's wet, okay, it operates. It's fantastic everywhere. You know, I think the new cams look great. They're good with the new battle armor ensemble, but they look really bad on fat people, really bad, and those that don't have a bit of muscle. ND, that is. Okay, so you've got negligent discharge and you've got a UD, unauthorised discharge. Two separate things. Foxhound, to seek out and close your enemy, kill or catch him, to season hold ground, repel attack by day and night, regardless of season, weather or terrain. You need to learn that. I'm going to make a video just for that. You better know it. You know, do not think, for one thing, I'm not trying to insult anyone here, but we are not one army. Never believe that you are in one army. You're not. There is a bell curve of rewards, curses, and privileges that everyone gets. There is absolute advantages to be Ramey. I'm not sure what they are. They work harder than anyone. There's definitely advantages of being infantry. Okay, that is that we don't necessarily have equipment that we have to continually maintain all the time, and we have the most fun and adventure. Okay, there's advantages, probably not of being the dentist. Don't know. There's advantages for some where they don't need to be fit. Okay, where they work in small teams, where they only work in offices, where every day is about air conditioning and coffee. Okay, then there's others that have the burden of command. Never compare yourself against someone else, because in the military, when you choose the corps, you can also choose the path that goes in, and you'll eventually get what you want, what you need. But always get what you want. But if you try it sometime, you just might get what you need. Is that what it is? Jay, take care, 007. Bond is gone. He is gone. He's been replaced by a lass, apparently. So politics, don't get involved in it. Don't look for a similar standard. You're going to have double standard, and that's fine, because you're going to have advantages when others don't. Educate, illuminate, validate. Importance of the RAR in the modern battlefield is you still need someone on the ground. You still need someone down there to make the decisions, the conversations, to tell another community, you're going to be okay, Australia's here, and we don't lose. Okay, you're on the winning team. Listen to us, please. We care about your children. We've got our own. We come from a cultured society where everyone is welcome until they prove that they're a dickhead, have less than 100 points, and then they can do the FU. And guess what? That tastes like chicken. Let's not cook it before you eat it. Juicy Jacks. I got told the other day I might not be able to go infantry due to breaking my foot over 3 years ago. Wishing I didn't mention forward observer. Forward observer is a fantastic role. If you're going to be a forward observer, you're going to be working with infantry, you're going to be working with armoured corps. One recommendation, go to Townsville, because then you'll be embedded with the infantry battalions to do your training. You need to maintain battle fitness, not poser fitness. Yep. We've got a couple of good people who have been talking to me lately about wanting to join the military but not give up the muscle they've got in order to get the cardio. And you're going, you've got to let something slip, mate, because the Army is all about functional movement. That's what it's about, functional movement. You need to be able to move your carcass in a way that you can be effective capability to get to the battlefield to stay there and then to help your brother off. The worst thing that could ever happen to you, the very worst thing other than being shot, is what if your mate does? What if your mate gets shot and your fitness is not at the level that you can, one, carry your equipment, but two, you can't carry him the hell out of there. And it's not because it was an impossible task. It was because you didn't have, the gumption to keep training. That would be terrible. I, in a foreign country, know what it feels like to be exhausted to the point I couldn't lift my head. And that was carrying people on stretchers. I won't go too far into that, because most people on the channel know about that. All right? Terrible. Darcy, hey, Kaz, in Australia's current involvements, what are the chances of a regular infantry soldier getting deployed? This is the big thing, Darcy. This is the big thing. It's like Dogecoin. We don't know. We just don't know. At the moment, you can feel. Who's heard of Franz Ferdinand? Taiwan, I believe, is Franz Ferdinand. It is the fuse. Whatever happens there is going to determine what happens tomorrow. But I can tell you one thing. There's one country it's going to end the worst for, and it's red in colour. What are your thoughts of women in infantry? Absolutely against it under all there's no circumstance, Mark, that I support it. Okay, none. And that should not be a negative slight at females. Okay, what this is me being political and letting them know that this is a job I did for 24 years, and I've seen those that have tried to join. I've seen the promise and the glossy catalogue that's offered but is not extended once they disappear into the nether and are then injured, can't keep up, fail a career, or realise I've been hoodwinked. This was not what I thought it was going to be. So absolutely not. And I've got a daughter? Nope. I don't believe in it, mate. Big fella. Okay, so I know Cav might be different. I love Cav. But how much of a sway on what is the process of being assigned to a battalion? I'm hoping for 2 Cav in Townsville. Then you let them know when you're going through the School of Armour, I want to go to 2 Cav. That's where I want to go. And this is why. And you might just get it if you're the loudest. And you do well. And you keep your eyes on the prize. Stoddy, or is it Monkey the Stone Badasi from the 70s TV? Not sure. Milo, do you think me having a lower than 18.5 BMI could discriminate me from being an officer in the Army? Why would it? That's good. You don't want to be too low, because I tell you what, in cold climates, when you haven't had enough to eat, and that's soldiers, generally, most of the time, especially in operations or outfield, the less muscle you have, the less body fat you have for your body to use as fuel, because you'll always be depleted, and the colder you're going to be. You'll be shivering like a dog shitting, like Mr. Weinstein sitting, at the bloody dock waiting for his conviction. Beppy Pace, do infantry guys look down on guys who aren't from Australia but got citizenship then joined? Absolutely not. Look, I've got to tell you, man, in Australia, we don't give a shit where someone comes from. The best thing we can do is hand you the bat handle first and go, you're up first, young fella. What better way to make you, fit in than tell you, okay, you can bat first, you can walk in the bindies, you can jump over the fence, take your chances with the K9, but welcome, you're one of us now. But the next time you turn up with that $4 pack of thin sausages and a 6-pack of beer, watch out. You turn up with a carton, you leave the remnants behind. It's rent. That's how you say thanks. When you turn up to a barbecue in Australia, you should be turning up with the best food. Something awesome. So you always start getting invited to everything. And then after a while, you can slacken off with the gift and almost turn up with a happy meal and go home as full as Buddha. Artillery operator, not really a fan. I think it's, at the moment, I hate to say it, I think it's more of a redundant corps at the moment. Yeah. I don't know. But they're going through a lot of change as well. And they're going to be, they're fighting for some other gigs that they can have. All brothers are brothers. That's right, Matty Bragg. Good to have you here. Double hand salute, splayed fingers, so no one thinks I'm actually still serving. They only held those up for 2-3. Brady Cars, was tech support at 2 Cav Holsworthy? I'm not sure. We all bleed red. Yep. Matty Bragg. He puts them there 4s, not 3s. Matty, we've got a bunch of people. It's been a while since we've seen you, mate, and we love you. For those that don't know, Matty Bragg doesn't like to brag. He's a man of achievement. Michael Stott is the medic. Brycey Monkey was actually my autobiography, but I became, but I didn't give them consent. They had to use the disclaimer. And I'll let you know too, team. I give consent for all pretty women with brown eyes, big boobs and sore backs. You know, I give you all consent. Okay, so come on over, line up, tip of the hat to you. If you want me to shave, I'll do it just this once. Carl P, they tried to make me put artillery on my choice. Don't do it. We all bleed red. Okay, we've seen that one. Crack me up. Clear and present danger. Okay, so let's get to some terms that you're going to hear, team. Are you not entertained? Have you had enough? Guys and gals, I'll tell you something quickly. Matty Bragg will know about this, and so will Dave. The one thing I enjoyed the most in my career, other than being a section commander, other than being a platoon sergeant, other than being a digger, one of the things I liked the most was having a bit of influence, was being at the tactics wing in the School of Infantry, you know, the school of the Australian soldier, and seeing the people that thought they knew it all, a whole class, part of a cohort that was going to infantry that was doing their ROBC, their Regimental Officers Basic Course, their equivalent to doing SINGO, but as officers. And doing that as a combined course with section commanders who were getting ready for sergeants. The mentor of the platoon, the father, the old man, the wisdom. And my team, I was at the bottom, but not the least. We had Special Forces USA. We had UK, okay, helping us out as well, and also lateral transfers. We had some of the best soldiers and mentors that a soldier could want to have working with them, for them. It was amazing. But my favourite thing was to walk into a room of 60 of these guys that thought they knew it all and let them know, you're not going to need a pen in any of my lessons unless you need it to stay awake. What's going to occur is I'm going to come here, I'm going to give you a hybrid between a lesson and a performance. Because it's important for me within 24 hours of you meeting me as your instructor that you understand, holy shit, I don't know it all. This guy has got something to teach. So, hey, Mr. Toby Callaghan, welcome to the Great Unwashed. Officer salute, up, 2, 3, down, up, down. There we go, mate. Thanks for becoming a member. Thank you very much. That's mucho respecto straight to you, mate. Welcome to the team. Now you've got your little man there. That's going to turn into a Lance Corporal stripe in a month. And then it's going to turn into a Section Commander. That's 2 in Australia. And then in 6 months, it's going to be 6. And you're more than welcome, mate. Great to have you here, bro. So you'd see these officers. And then after a while, they start to come over and they look at you like, is this guy a dickhead or a good guy? I haven't worked it out yet. And I still don't know what a lot of them think. I've had a lot of messages from a lot of them. I've run into a lot of officers in the Australian Army right now. And do you know what they say? They come over. They're not allowed to be seen to agree and come over and go, Kaz, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep saying what you're saying. So they agree with it. And they're the leaders of the future. Your last Chief of Defence Forces were my bosses. Yep. What do I think about that? You already know. Leadership and management are 2 completely different things. 2 completely different things. But here we go, some terms. I know it's 8:38. We'll get going in 5 more minutes if we can, and I'll get onto those questions on the next stream, and I apologise for that because I've been sort of hectic. Survival man. 343, there he is. Foxhound, shot over, shot out. Splash over, splash out. Okay, the round landed. Adjust in round. Okay, add 400 over. You were too short. SBF, ABF. Support by fire or attack by fire. Okay, and ABF is when you were supporting a movement and you have a call sign that's on the ground that has a delayed fire control order that tells him you need no further orders, no further permission to fire on a given area that we have now allocated, but this is your target description, nothing below this threshold. Okay, SPF, support by fire. Okay, that's going to come to support an assault from a non-obvious direction from dismounted forces normally, or mounted forces. RV rendezvous point, where I'm going to meet you at this time. Do not be late. There's deliberate attacks. There's quick attacks, patrol clashes, and there is ambushes. They're all part of fighting patrols. Okay, a reconnaissance patrol is about information gaining, being below the detection threshold, or using non-arms corps individuals like intelligence, ground teams to move with us and act as traductores, okay, which are linguists, etc., that may even pretend that they're not a translator and sit back and just listen to what someone's saying around there so they can work out what's going on the ground. We come back, and that goes towards building up a picture of our threat and also whether they are friends or foe. C3, command, control and communications, most three important things. MAP and IMAP, we've said about that, military appreciation process, and IMAP is the individual military appreciation process, normally done by people above platoon level, normally at OC, etc. Reese, welcome to the Bearer of Coffee. That's 2 for tomorrow. Well done, and I will scoff them both. Thank you very much, mate. Welcome to the new military. Okay, we're all volunteers still. Well done. So fighting patrols and reconnaissance patrols. ROE, rules of engagement. You've been hearing a lot about that lately. Krakens by 3, says Carl P. The L-shaped ambush is the way to go. I'm a big fan 366. Let your weapons and let your ammunition and their ranges and capabilities do the talking for you. No escape. No mercy. Because they won't have it for you. LOAC, laws of armed conflict. Something we go by, but no one we seem to go for does. It's like when you go in the boxing ring, he's allowed to headbutt. He's allowed to kick you on the ground. You know, he's allowed to do everything he wants. He can bring a knife. But we have to turn up with Nerf balls on our hands, okay, and have to fight against the laws of armed conflict that we can't win with. COC, chain of command. You got to keep it. You got to maintain it. We don't name names. That's something we don't do in the army. We don't name names. Okay, what have got? SMEAC, situation, mission, execution, administration and logistics, command and SIG. That's how we give a patter of our waters. LP, landing point, LZ, landing zone. What's the difference? LP is for one craft. Don't look like a dumbass and call something an LZ, or they think you want to prepare something for multi-craft. 11 metres by 20 metres by 37 metres. Okay, is our circles, if I remember correctly. Mission statement, very important. Who, where, what, when and why. Said twice. Phases of war, there's 4 of those. You've got the advance, you've got the attack, you've got the defence, you've got the withdrawal. Stages of attack, you've got the preparatory stage, you've got the assault, you've got the exploitation, you've got the reorganisation. Tick, troops in combat, in contact, 9-liner. That's for our CASEVAC. CAS. Okay, our close air support. And there's so many more. There is acronyms, there's a language. There is so much, team. We even have resilience training on self-harm. Don't do it. Go and see someone. We have our own psychologists. Infantry, I believe, nut scratchers, heavy weapons. There you go. That's what they call them. Guys and gals, all I can say is infantry has given me a life that nothing else could have given this ADD beard farm growing freak with the body of an Asian schoolgirl, a life that I cannot imagine how it could be better. QRF, RRF, Ready Reaction Forces, yep. Get on top of your TLAs. TLA. I don't even know what the hell that is. Quambies, yep. Guys and gals, we've been going now for an hour and 24 minutes, an hour and 25 minutes. I'm going to go and ring my daughter. I just wanted to say thank you to you. And I want to let you know you're not making a mistake unless you get caught up in the politics or you turn up unprepared. Don't change the culture. It's our culture that wins. I'm telling you now. Wakey Waz Vids, here's $3. Cheers, mate. Wait a second. Got to take the knife out of their hand. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Because that's equivalent to 3,000 viewers. If you don't know anything about how much finances are raised shekels from watching 1,000 views on YouTube in Australia, we get undercut. Pretty bad. Thank you very much. I loved every part of my 23 years. Absolutely. The time goes like that. It's not a chore. It just gets harder and harder to hold onto the bars. And let me tell you, team, in this presentation tonight, although it seems like it's scattered, it's all organic. It's come from someone that served the time, that still misses it every single day, that understands that some of you are going to be in the army for 40 years now and you don't even realise it. We've got Bradley, who's at Singleton right now, shitting his undies, hoping that he's going to earn his Skippy Badge successfully, first time, making brothers, getting the battalion he wants to go to, and even then turning up and saying, this is like a butcher's bloody shop here. These guys don't cut your slack at all. We earn everything we have. Guys and gals, you get one life. You're here to live it. It's not about hurting people. It's about the big adventure. It's about staying dangerous. It's about looking forward. It's about preparing for the next person that says, Australia, cross that line, I dare you. Well, guess what? We don't lose. We don't. So be very careful. If you look at Australia and you want to pick on us or our brothers, where we get involved. Because the only reason sometimes things aren't sorted out sooner is because of the shackles that we wear that are put on by leadership and by politicians. You know, Australians are compassionate. They're team builders. Okay, they love their brothers even when they hate them. Okay, we are the can-do battalion and we do really well when we mix with New Zealand. Okay, throw some UK, some Canada in there and we're almost unstoppable. Guys and gals, the storm clouds are rising. They are. And you can feel it. Everyone can. In our own society, we can feel like everyone is goddamn angry all the time. Last night I found out the movies are just now converted to Pepsi. Broke me heart. Absolutely destroyed me. And she looked at me and even said to me in a facetious way, a lot of people drink Pepsi. I'm like, what barbecue did you ever go to where you saw people rock up with beers and Pepsi? What kids' party did you see kids go, oh, great, Pepsi? It's a fugazi. It's a fake diamond. Get it out of your life. It's one of the reasons why I don't like going to Kentucky. And because it's led by a colonel. I've had enough of getting told what to do by people I call sir. And not by choice. Guys and gals, if we were to discuss anything we did tonight, that would be that you've been illuminated, educated, and validated on the importance of infantry 100 years ago and 100 years from now, if people are still here. Never focus on the equipment. It changes all the time. The TTPs, tactical techniques and procedures, the SOPs, the drills, they move a little bit but stay generally the same. Our actions on, they change. But we can't laugh at the past. It guides our future. Go in with the ego to learn and to win, okay, but also to still be brothers. This should be a great video to allow others to look at it, listen to it in a car if you don't like the visuals, like a podcast, subscribe to the channel, become a member, and remember there's people that have done the journey that you're looking at that are looking back and saying, not only can you do it, and it won't be easy, but I'm not giving a political spin, I'm giving you some truth. And this is a tree with no leaves. So what you need to do now with questions after this, okay, is generated as a video, is get on there and ask your serious questions below. We've already got some from members. I might do a follow-up stream tomorrow night if yous want on infantry. We'll see. And that just won't go as long. But guys and gals, it's been an absolute privilege. I don't like looking at notes. Okay, I don't like feeling like I'm at a bloody defence barrister's court case. I like eye contact, even though I can't see you. I like your participation. I appreciate it all. Thank you to those that serve. Thank you to those that are going to serve. And remember, if you want to speak to a soldier, you don't have to say thanks for your service. Ask them, tell me a story. And they will. People go, oh, my grandpa never used to talk to me. Guess what? He'd tell me everything. He just doesn't think you'll understand. That's all. So in that, forge your life. Encourage those to live theirs. Even if you don't like the path, if it's righteous, it's right. That's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. Your caddy through your military career, whether it's already commenced, whether it's over, or whether it's about to begin. The fledgling that's about to leave the nest. It's not perfect. And there's sacrifices to be made. But you're not alone. And neither am I. See you later, guys and gals. And I really, really appreciate everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your shekels. And thank you for your perseverance and your sense of humour, putting up with me talking shit. So take it easy. And guess what? You're being represented by the best. And I don't mean me. See you later. Thank you to all those that serve.